Good morning, Wilson. Here is your daily task. Go, my pretty. Excellent. Well, I actually had a whole lot of stuff recorded here, and pretty much all of it is utterly useless. The audio was absolute crap. I don't know what happened, but basically totally unusable, so I had to get rid of it. Nothing's going to be able to get through there. That should be good. Once the turtle digs out those two spots there, obviously mobs will be able to spawn, and they will, and I really don't want them jumping me down in my main power supply here. Okay, so I've got all those barrels there are absolutely chockers with cobblestone. I've been playing around with the power generation system here. As you can see, I've got this lovely iron tank. That's right, 2 million units of lava. That's about 200,000 buckets. And I pumped the vast majority of that I pumped out from this massive lava lake down the bottom, which unfortunately is no more. Now, this thing here, I don't know whether I'm going to keep this or not. I don't actually think it's super effective. Basically what we have here is a magma crucible, which is using the power generated by some magmatic engines to turn netherrack into lava. Great stuff there. The idea is that it powers these magmatic engines, which are all, as you can see, fully bombed up and working away feverishly, and any excess gets pumped into here. And therein lieth the rub, because I think they've actually got this tweaked to the point where if it is generating lava, it's not generating a whole lot. I could probably siphon off some power out of it, but I don't really know. Anyway, I saw a really brilliant system, which is what those nether gates there are for. The idea of this thing here, just got a hopper on top, which is got some netherrack in it now, as you see. A barrel here. Basically it's just a redstone pump, pumps it out, and it goes across the top of the hopper. Now, as soon as that hopper is an empty spot, netherrack will start dumping into it, and it'll keep going back into the top of the barrel. Now that prevents one of the main problems with buildcraft pipes, which is if something has nowhere to go, it'll basically just spit it out on the ground somewhere. So, we've got that. We've got these geothermals which are buzzing away here. Have a look at that. It's all going, and that's probably because I've got some stuff upstairs being used at the moment. This tank is a 5x5x5, so it's almost as big as they can get. This spot here was where I was pumping the stuff in from downstairs. I'll collect all that pipe later. I did see an idea, I think it was on one of Zoomavoid's videos, which I really like the idea of, which is a really different use of the functionality of nether portals, whereby now you can pump items through the nether portal. And what they were doing, I'm not sure whether I need this one, or I might have to shift both of them yet, so I've got to see how that works. Basically, you can throw things through the nether portals, through to the other side. Now, once I've got a working chunk loader in the nether, I can chuck a pump into one of those nice big lava lakes in there, and then I can use a liquid transposer there and a magnetic engine, probably one of these ones, to power it and power the pump and fill up cans of lava. And then these thermal expansion machines will automatically eject stuff into pipes, and I'll just have it spit the cans out through the nether portal. And on the other side you have a powered obsidian pipe, which then will suck up items in a 3x3 radius. And that's the collection. And then basically I would get the full cans out of that one, and I'd spit the empty cans out of one of these, or I might have to move it further away, I've got to see yet. And then on the other side would be exactly the opposite. So anyway, that's the idea, and I'll show you how I go about that later on. Now, I did a bit of enchanting. I showed me using my baked potato of death to kill a couple of zombies, which is why I'm now eating corn on the cob, because I used up all my potatoes. Check this baby out. Soul Stealer 4, Disjunction 4. Now, I think that Disjunction is particularly effective against Enderman. 30 levels into that. 30 levels into this bow, and all I got was power 3. And I can't complain too much, because that's better than what I got before that, which was punch 1, believe it or not. Punch 1 out of 30 levels. You have got to be kidding me. Anyway, enough of my ranting. I've got sharpness and Vorpal 1 on the Athame there, which is quite good. Where are we? I thought I had that other sword somewhere. I made 2 of those Vorpal swords. There we go. Soul Stealer 4 and Looting 3. So not too shabby, and just a regular stone sword in case all the others run out. Now the reason I've got 2 swords on my hotbar is because I really do not want to waste my nice vile sword on anything that I'm not collecting souls off, i.e. zombies. And when you get mobs, there seems to be a ratio of about 3 zombies to everything else. Rightio, upstairs here, you can see I've put these barrels in. Replaced one of these log pillars with these barrels, and I think that actually works quite well. You can see I had one of those Vorpal swords, and I got a few heads. Really cheesed off. The skull, I put the skull on top of my research bench, Thorncraft research bench, and these candles won't go on top. Oh, that would have been so cool. I mean, every budding wizard has a skull with a candle on it, for goodness sake. Surely they've got to be able to go on top. Enchanting table. I've actually got too many books here, but it's just nice for symmetry. That does work. I don't think I'm using any of that at the moment, so it can go off. Nope, that'll save me a bit of power. Right, now it's been ages since you've been in here, so here we go. I've got the extractor, compressor, haven't actually used that yet. Electric furnace, just in case I want to cook something up that the thermal expansion engines don't like. And recyclers, with a couple of overclockers in each. Now I've been, every bit of stone that's come out of there that hasn't gone into those barrels has basically come up in here, they're barrels by the way, and been converted into scrap. My potion facility, well, I don't know if I saw these are those Zycraft blocks. I really like them. They just add that touch of aura to your potions and enchanting and Thorncraft room. Soul Forge, you basically use these corrupted essences to create these corrupted fragments out of iron. So yeah, I've got plenty more there for any more vile swords that I want to make. And I think I did hear somewhere, I think it was on one of Direwolf's videos, that you need the vile sword to get that Soul Stealer enchant. Could be wrong, but I believe that might be the case. This chunk loader, or world anchor, I made this and then put it down and realised afterwards that you need a stack of ender pearls in, and guess what? I don't have a stack of ender pearls. Really useful, folks. We need a chunk loader that you don't need things that are impossible to get in early game to operate. Computer. I got this guy to program my turtles, and to be honest, I have very little idea about how to actually do it. I think I've managed to get some programs across from one turtle to another one using the disk drive more by accident than anything else. A couple of project tables using these nifty plans to make stuff out of. Really good. I love those. These are extra thing for more plans. This one here, timers and stuff like that will go in here. I haven't converted this alloy furnace to a bluetricity furnace yet, but I've got some batteries, and I may do that sometimes soon, I suppose, soonish. Thermionic fabricator, been using that a little bit. rolling machine, which I use to make all the plates for the iron tank. Got a few spare there. Sawmill, now I mentioned that, they are absolutely brilliant. A couple of furnaces, I added 2 on. And of course the pulverizer. Now I've got an induction smelter somewhere in one of these boxes here. We pulled it out because it's not really useful for a beginning game. I don't think, you know. You might think I'm wrong and say so. There you go. Cocoa bean farm. I don't know if I mentioned this. Sketcher XD put this in. Absolutely brilliant. Just a dispenser up there with a bucket in it. Hit the button and it washes the cocoa beans off into these holes here. Click it again, water goes off, and you just replant them. Absolutely brilliant. Obsidian plates, love them too. Will not be operated by mobs, only players. Okay, peat farm. Now I was trying to make this as automated as possible. I do have a few things that I will have to add on to it. Basically, it's semi-automatic. Here's the stopping point, the buckets. Probably a spider underneath me at the moment. That turtle is basically mining out all the way under here. Buckets, get all the buckets. You can collect them all in one stack. I love that feature. We have a liquid transposer here. Put them into there. It fills them up and pumps them into this chest here, which as you can see has a bunch of other stuff in there. Now once they go in there, there's a sorting machine behind there with the new pumping feature, so you don't need a timer or anything with it. And it's only waiting now on the bog earth. Before it was waiting on the water bucket. Once the bog earth comes out of the crafting bench up there, auto crafting table, the iron pipe will dump it in this direction. It'll go into the pump and that will go through into the peat bog. Here he goes. Lovely. And of course, once he goes through, it'll then put these through. Now these are on 3 separate lines, you'll notice. Dirt, sand and water, which are needed to make the bog earth. That makes 6 bog earths. Now if I used a water cell, I would get 8 bog earth out of it, but I would lose the water cell in the process. You can see it going there. So I decided to use something reusable, i.e. a bucket. And between the forest or the tree farm and this, I get plenty of sand and dirt, so basically it's all renewable. I had a problem here. If I have all these on the same line, that is soil, sand and bucket, I do end up with problems. Now I don't know exactly why, but basically there would always be one or another missing out of this chest and the rest just sitting there. So I really don't know what was going on. But as you can see, they're all emptied out now. I can just collect those again and chuck them back in here. And that'll all work again quite nicely. As you can see, it's now replacing all this stuff. Now I have got plenty of peat, so I don't really need to run it, but it's running at the moment. As you can see, I've got a bit of peat there. Just about to run out of sand by the look of things. How's that? Peat engines chugging away. The forestry engines, I've just got to come over here, see what sand I've got. Oops, there's at least one thing. That is very, very full. Did I turn that off? Yes, I did. I turned that off. Okay, as you can see, I've got plenty of stuff. Now, I have plans of what to do with the extra trees there, but not really sure whether to. So I can make biofuel or biomass out of those trees, and I can also establish a wheat farm to help that out too. But I don't really need it. I've got all this peat at the moment, which is working fine. I suppose I could use this to power, and I may yet use it to power combustion engines, because they pump out a heck of a lot more power than these peat engines do. The thing about these peat engines is it's totally renewable, easy to source, and I suppose I could line up a few of those, but you'd need 4 peat engines for every 1 combustion engine, maybe even more. I'm not sure on that. So yeah, chuck a bit more in there. See, lots of peat. Yum, loving that stuff. Anybody watch Gardening Australia? Look at that. Isn't that lovely? You could eat that. It's my crappy Peter Cundall imitation. Okay, anyway, here we go. That's our tree farm and peat farm, which are both working away fine. Rubber farm, I've used that a bit. Got plenty of rubber spare. I've harvested quite a few cactuses out of this sucker. The only reason I've got these is in case I want the light planks. And of course the garden here is going great guns. Once again, obsidian plate. Now I don't know whether I've told you about this one. I saw this in a Direwolf 20 channel. Somebody mentioned it. Fence gate above obsidian plate. Oh yeah. Love that. I can open it, mobs can't. Betterer and betterer. Okay, going up here, wheat, just mainly for cow breeding. I mainly eat potatoes and corn. Flax, excellent source of string and oil seeds. Some missing there. Carrots, really the only thing I've used carrots for, the only thing I've used carrots for is Thorncraft. And speaking of Thorncraft, I have changed up the room a bit. Check it out. Basically doubled it in length. It's wider now than it was, because I do need some more stuff to go in here. I've moved the research bench in here and the basic crafting table. Moved the chest over. It's still full of crap. I'm going to have to upgrade that or add another one. And moved the arcane workbench over to here. Now what I will do is put markers all the way around the outside here with watered jars on them, which will hold the essences. And my trusty little tallow golems will run around here quite happily and fill them up. They'll take any essences from these alembics and take them over to the jar. And I'll have another guy who will use this water source here to refill buckets. Awesome, absolutely awesome. Now what I will have to do, I'm going to try and match the markers to these colours here. Except for the outside, I've got green ones for there, and I'll probably try and use those. These are the Zycraft shield blocks, or shield or plate, one of the two. Can't remember. Sketcher built the first one, he used a heap of those, so just to continue it on, I used those. These are just straight out Zycraft blocks, all of them. Now, I don't actually need the torches in here because nothing will spawn on a Zycraft block. Absolutely brilliant. Loving your work there. But these tallow candles, don't they look awesome on that? Oh yeah. That is really cool looking. Love that. I've got my 4 alembics here. Set a research table. I've got a few more things I've got to check out in there. I'm not really sure where my thermonomic is. I think it's in one of my bags. Oops. Big hole on the ground. And I'll show you where I got all the lava from. Big jump. Whee! Splosh. Okay, I actually have shifted this pipe about 4 times. I've got 2 lava pools up here. Let's wander up this way. These were all dug out with turtles. Loving those things. This was all lava in here. Now as you can see, I've only got 1 little pool there left. It's not worth setting a pump up for to get really. And I had another one up this way. I got the turtles to dig this tunnel out too, and up to here, and there's only a little bit of stuff left there. Like I said, not worth setting a pump up for. Over the back here was one of the largest lava lakes I think I've ever seen in Minecraft in the overworld, and I've pretty much drained all of it. That's the zombies from my zombie spawner, still earning away. As you can see, I haven't actually shifted the pump from here. There's that one there left that wasn't connected to this other one here. Uncovered some goodies, and as you can see on bedrock there's just a few little things left there. And over here, sapphires, get them later. Over here there's a few more little pools of lava left. This was all lava, absolutely brilliant. And this extended all the way over there as well. There was a pump pumping lava out of there. I originally started drawing it out back over there, and it was drilled all out over here, cleared all that out, and that's why I shifted the pump over to here, because this land bridge here then came up and cut that area there off. There's some more caves there over the other side there which have now become exposed, so I can get into them later. And I've been collecting a bit of obsidian from around here, as you can see. I did show me going up the levels by knocking these guys on the head using my baked potato of death. Here we go, here's my corn of death. Cop that. Clicking madness. Now the weird thing about these, every single one of these drop from the same height, but some will actually die when they hit the ground. Some will die with one hit, and other ones will take a few hits to knock on the head. I've been getting a lot of slime spawning around here. Not exactly sure where, but they seem to come down from up this way somewhere. Now the zombie spawn is just up there. There's another cave up there. I haven't really had a good look up there either. Haven't needed to. With these soul shards that I'm getting, a bit hungry. Nom 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 nom. With these soul shards that I'm getting, let's have a look. As you can see, I've got all tier 1, spider, creeper and skeleton, and they're really going up now with the soul stealing enchant on those swords. I think if you've got soul stealer 4, you actually get 4 for every one you knock on the head. So very good, liking that. Anyway, that is pretty much the total tour of what I've got at the moment. I've got to apologise, I actually had done a lot more, but the sound quality was really bad. Basically, you could hardly hear me talk. I've got no idea what caused it. I was using a new set of earphones with a microphone, and I have used them before, so don't know what happened there, but suddenly the sound level has just really dropped off. And these were the original ones that the ones that I'm using now are the original ones that I have, and they seem to be working okay. I've tested it out, and as I said, that seemed to be alright. Now here we go. As you can see, yon turtle has been busy. I can get rid of that now. He's there beavering away over there. And when he's full, he'll just come up and empty out at that chest. You can see from here where he's dug out before. So there's actually 5 lots of blocks of 16 that he's cleared from this level all the way down to bedrock. And he'll knock this one out as well. Now I'll probably end up expanding it in one direction or another. I don't know which. And we'll see how that goes later on. I see, I didn't push that far enough across. That's a bit of a bugger. Well, not much I can do about that now. Or is there? Watch and be amazed. So I click on him and go Control T, terminate the program. Nope. Where'd he go? Control T. No, if it's not going to work, I'll get rid of him the other way. There we go. More than one way to skin a turtle. Right, so I have to clear out across here and shift this chest. I'll be back when I've done that and we'll restart him off again. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? As you can see, I've moved this over. All the stuff that was in the chest and a whole bunch of other stuff I've got being moved out of here now, including the old chest. So this system will quite happily move all that for me. And Wilson here will quite happily dig everything out. Excavate. 16. Digging 16 by 16 holes. And off he goes. Now the only drama you'll get with these is that if you've got to turn the game off for any particular reason or whatever, and the turtle is in the middle of executing one of those commands, he'll basically forget about it and just stop. Now there are ways and means about that. My programming skills are nowhere near up to that level. Basically there's a thing called the startup program. You can see with those turtles that it does work. I'll show you that in a second. We'll just get back in here. Yeah, I'm going to need some rock. Take some cobble and some dirt. Thank you very much. I might as well have that obsidian as well while I'm at it. Okay. No, that's too much. Righto. Now that I know I'm not going to get jumped by a creep or anything, we go into here and we'll have a look at one of the other turtles. Okay, so this one is B2. Now if we have a look at this, I'll go into Edit, Start Up, Enter. Now basically RedNet Open Right just opens up the Redstone modem, or the RedNet modem that he's got attached to him. This tells him to get his computer ID. This one call it ID. This one tells him to get his label and call it label. And this one tells him to get the fuel level and call it fuel. And then he just simple print command, print whatever's in the brackets, and whatever is in those parentheses will come up. Hello, my name is, space, label, and so on and so forth. So just a very, very simple program. Hit Control to exit. And we're out. So now whenever we go into here, or if we go into here and go reboot, and it'll come back up. ID2, he's the second computer that I made, and that's his fuel level, which is pretty damn good. I had these guys hooked up to those chargers there for quite some time. And where are we? You can go back in there. Where the hell's the other one? Oh, there. Probably should have both those in the same one, shouldn't I? So I know where they are. I use those to clear out the area where I made the extra Thorncraft room. Okay, well that one's done, so I'll try and have another go at this one, and I'll probably put the results in the next episode. Oh, there's a lot of lava in there for some reason. I see, that's backed up because I've turned the machines off. Right, awesome. So he'll keep going probably until that's done, and that'll be that. I could possibly, once I get gates, I can probably have this inventory full, turn off these magmatic engines, which is a bit of a pain because they're one of those engines that really doesn't work very well until they're up to full temperature. Yeah, that's not doing much at all. So if I go into here, E, you can see I've used my bat pack a bit. We'll chuck it in there, and watch the fuel level drop there. These things kick into operation, and it won't be very long before it's all back to normal again. Don't know, maybe this system is enough to operate it. There are electrical engines up there. I suppose I could replace those with magnetic engines too. There's an idea. Okay, because I think they produce more than those ones too. What are they producing now? 4 megajoules? And I think you've got to put cards in these ones before they'll equal that. No fuel. Basically there's no power coming into it. Stored 6. Current output 0. Have to have a think about that. As you can see, the stones are shooting up to the recyclers, and anything else will be popping up through a chest up there, which I've got access to. Now eventually, of course, I will have a sorting system down here which will take care of all this sort of stuff, but I'm probably not going to do that here. I'm not 100% sure about exactly how I want my base to look or be, or even where I want it at this stage, so it's all going to be very sort of up in the air. Now I'm basically thinking at the moment of using that big hole over there to build my base around. And I'm getting some ideas about how to do that. Now I want to put in some factorization stuff to increase the yield that I'm getting out of ores, because basically 3 types of ores, gold, copper and tin, are much rarer than I think they really should be. Now I'm getting tons of this aluminium stuff, but I don't think I can use that to change to tin or copper through Thorncraft, so bit of a bummer there. I'll have to investigate that further and see if there is a way to get rid of all the aluminium crap, because I've got tons and tons of it, it's everywhere, and actually get something that I can use. Anyway, this is Dadovitchnic, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.